European leaders on Sunday visiting Tunisia held up the promise of more than 1 billion euros in financial aid as well as investments in undersea data cables and renewable energy in an effort to restore stability in the northern African country and to stem migration from its shores to Europe. The major package aid was considered during the meeting, hosted by Tunisia's President Kais Saied, with EU Commission President von der Leyen, who was accompanied by Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte, and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, whose country is the main arrival point for migrants crossing the Mediterranean from Tunisia.
The first pillar is economic development. We will support Tunisia to strengthen its economy. The European Commission is considering macrofinancial assistance as soon as the necessary agreement is found. And we are ready to mobilize up to 900 million euros for this purpose of macrofinancial assistance.
For her part, the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, who was already in Tunisia earlier this week, met with President Kais Saied on Tuesday to lay the groundwork for an agreement with the EU, which she hoped would pave the way for a bailout with the International Monetary Fund.
We are ready to host an international conference on migration and development in Rome that we talked about with President Saied as a further step in this journey that we have undertaken together. And of course, we consider this work useful also to help Tunisia in its negotiations with the IFM.
The EU, like other major donors to Tunisia, has so far conditioned its support on the country, finalizing a loan program with the International Monetary Fund. But President Kais Saied has rejected key reforms required by the plan and said his country would not play the role of border guard for Europe, after he made an unannounced visit to a migrant camp in the coastal city of Sfax on Saturday.
I'm not talking about countries, but there are cases related to human trafficking and organ trafficking, and there are networks behind this phenomenon that has been unknown to Tunisia for years. Of course, migrants are victims of poverty and civil wars and of the absence of the state in many regions. They fled to Tunisia as a refugee. But we're also a country that has its own laws, a country that respects laws and respects the human being.
Many Tunisians are already suffering economic hardships. As a result, more and more Tunisians themselves risk dangerous boat journeys across the Mediterranean to seek a better life in Europe. This is weighing heavy on Tunisian authorities' shoulders, and such aid package can indeed better the situation for the North African nation.